Welcome to Chasing Tents, everyone. My name is Abby. Thank you so much for joining me to this part 2 of this new series, which is what happened to that bike. So this is the Triumph Daytona Super 3 900 with a Cosworth sprinkling, and I've already done a very detailed, I say very detailed, 25 minutes, something like that, documentary, maybe 20 minutes documentary on this bike in association with Triumph, in association with Cosworth, and Alcon, who did the amazing 6-piston caliper brakes. So done that video, it's in the description if you want to see it. But since then, you've never seen this bike. So I get comments about this bike and the Suzuki GXSR I've got, and the Honda, the old Honda. I mean, you see the Aprilia quite often in the videos, but you don't see the other bikes because I don't ride them very often, and I don't like to say show off, number one. Number two, constantly put it in your face, look what I've got, look what I've got, look what I've got. So you probably haven't seen this bike for 2 years now. I have ridden this bike, unlike the Suzuki. So I have taken this bike on, to be honest, to the Distinguished Gentleman ride and a few other rides. So yeah, so I mean, talking about Distinguished Gentleman ride, if you are a very old follower of my channel, the old CX500 Honda is sold. I don't have that anymore. I don't miss it particularly because it was a 500cc engine. I wanted a bit more oomph, a boom, thump from a V-twin, which I didn't really get from the CX500. Even though it was a great bike, it was just a fantastic bike, custom job by somebody else, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, and the seating position was a little bit uncomfortable. Anyways, this one, I've not really done anything to it. I've actually destroyed it a little bit. I've not had a crash. I'll show you that in a minute. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it. If anyone asks me what is your favorite bike out of all the 4 bikes, you know, the Aprilia, the Suzuki, the Honda, and this one, this is my favorite bike. Number 1 is a triple. I'm a big triple fan. Number 2 is British. I am British. I'm in the UK. Number 3 is the whole story behind it, the Renaissance, the Hinckley Triumph, you know, and is reliable, is bulletproof. You know, I've not had a single issue with it. I didn't even empty the carburetors 2 years in a row. You start it, it starts straight away. I had to put a new battery in. That's my fault. I didn't trickle charge it. That's been the case with all the 3 old bikes. Lesson learned. Anyways, so let me get I will start the bike later on. I've not started this bike for about 5 months now. I'll start it and show you the lovely symphony of the triple with the SP engineering exhaust. By the way, I did a video 3 years ago, and I weighed the exhaust. The carbon exhaust, it's only a carbon sleeve, I think. The carbon exhaust you get with this bike, I think it's nearly 6 kilo each, 6 kilogram each. I don't know how many pounds is that, 13 pounds, 14 pounds, I don't know. So, I mean, these SP engineering exhausts, they're like 1.5 kilo, probably max 2, but it's amazing how heavy those are. But I think back in the day, you didn't have any cats much, so everything was in the slip-on. Anyways, not really changed much on the bike. Let me get the second camera angle and show you what I've done. So let me show you what I've done. Unfortunately, on my last ride, I wasn't looking properly, and I knocked my own indicator, but I've got a brand new original Triumph one here, which I'm going to install one day. But all in all, the carbon is in a good shape. I dropped something on the bike not too long ago. There's a tiny little mark here, but I don't know if that can disappear. It was a box, so I'm pretty sure it can disappear. I've broken the other side mirror. I know this is a, some people don't like it, some people like it. The bike came with it. See, look, as soon as you get a yellow bike out, okay, you get flies. When I did the video, and I did all the videos today, so all these videos are in the same clothes on the Suzuki, the Honda, and this one. Not a single fly on them. As soon as you get a yellow bike out, you get flies on them. You know, that's why I heard a famous story from Maranello, Italy, that Ferrari originally came in yellow, but they changed the yellow to red. And one of the main reasons, okay, there are other reasons, was yellow attracted a lot of flies and stuff like that. But Italy's racing color was red back in the day. Like we had British racing green, and Japan had white, and I think France had blue. That's why you got blue Bugattis and stuff like that. I'm digressing. Okay, so love the SP Engineering exhaust. Absolutely amazing. Really good sporty position, not this way, which is a bit more touring-y shape. Love the incline. I do need to put new tires on the bike because I think these tires are Michelin tires but 10 years old. But lately, I mean, I do a lot of track day videos and a lot of tire information videos. And I read on the Pirelli's website, they said the age of the tire doesn't really matter unless it's more than 20 years old or something like that, and you're really taking it on the track. But the age really doesn't matter as long as the bike has been stored properly, and these bikes get stored securely in a heated garage. So, you know, 10-year-old tires, I've never had any squirmishness, so it's okay, but I might go for Metzeler or Dunlop, we'll see. All the carbon is in a good nick, everything is in a good shape. It's not as clean as I'd like it to be because I'm just a bit lazy sometimes. But yeah, how many miles is done? 15,700 miles. It is very clean, as you can tell. No sign of, there are some cobwebs there, I've seen. But yeah, been reliable. I've done an oil change, I've done a spark plug change, I think. But yeah, it's been absolutely bulletproof. What is the plan with this bike? I've given you plans for all the three classics. I might do a gentle track day on it. I know what you're thinking. It's going to be a classic one, maybe next year, just to showcase the bike, just to take it there, just to be there, and maybe a few Triumph events. And obviously the Distinguished Gentleman Ride, which I always do on this bike, because its number one is Triumph, because Distinguished Gentleman Ride, prostate cancer, male suicide prevention, all that, Triumph supports that. And Triumph have been excellent to me. Not only they've given me press bikes, they've also welcomed me during COVID when there was less restrictions to do the documentary at Triumph Hinckley. So Triumph have been great to me. So a few Triumph events and also a few classic track days, but nothing hardcore on the bike. I'm very bad at blipping the throttle, and the clutch on these bikes are not slipper clutches. So because my race bike has a blipper and quick shifter, I'm just rubbish at blipping throttle. So I don't want to take it on the track. I'm sure I'll have it in knots. Anyways, or it'll have me in knots. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, the bike I keep it full. Full of fuel during the winter time. I should empty the carburetors, which I don't do, but it's never given me problems. I start the bike. It is a cold bike. Let's see if it starts straight away. It doesn't give me many. I'm not very far. The dual carriageway is just behind me. 125 cc's with huge exhaust. Don't you love that? Anyway, so let's start the bike. Let me show you how good the SP Engineering exhaust sound. They did come with baffles. The baffles are somewhere in the loft. But I will just start the bike. I'm not going to rev it too hard. I'm in a residential area with that's like me at Donington Park racetrack. Okay, there's a noise limit. So I'm telling you, I can't rev the bike, but I've got a dual carriageway right behind me. That's like Donington Park racetrack with the airport right next door, and they always tell you there's a noise limit. Anyways, I digress. Let's start the bike. Let's warm it up as well. I'm going to put a secondary mic, which will be the phone. Let's start it. Choke on. What did I say? 4 to 5 months I've not started it. Oh my God. I'm pleasantly surprised always by this bike. All right, I'm going to cut now because I want to warm the bike up. With these bikes, these Triumphs, they need to be warmed up. I'm not going to rev it too hard, but I just want you to listen to the noise. But let me warm it up. Okay, welcome back, guys. It's warmed up pretty nicely, and I think I need to increase its idle revs a bit, because as soon as I leave the throttle, it turns off, which has always been the case, but never bothered me too much. It doesn't turn off on the lights when I'm on a ride. All right, let's start the bike. I'm not going to rev it any more than 4,000 revs. I need to be civil. I'm in a residential-ish area. There are people with cars on their drive, so they probably work from home. Got to be civil. Okay, let's start it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give it a few revs and an idle. Okay, no drive-by, no ride-by, it's just a basic noise kind of melody or symphony test, I should say. Lovely triple engine, lovely SP engineering exhaust. It sounds absolutely amazing, makes me smile every time. So that was a 4,000 kind of revvy thing, and idle at 4,000 as well. So, but yeah, big difference from OEM exhaust to this, and big difference from the baffle to this as well. I'm not a big fan of baffles. I don't ride very much on the roads, so if I'm going to ride it, I'm going to ride it without the baffle, and it's not overly loud. Even the Suzuki GXSR with its duplex exhaust system, that's not very loud. And my Honda, you know, I mean, the baffles on that Honda were huge. You will see that in part 3. Unreal baffles. So that made a big difference when I took them out. So yeah, I don't like to strangle the bike, like to ride it nicely. Nothing to report on this bike which has given me issues, something I don't like. I mean, it is a heavy bike, 245 kilos. Ergonomic wise, I think it's one of the best bikes out there. The clip-ons, the seating position, the rear sets, my goodness, you know, it is just absolutely amazing. When I did that documentary, I went from Northampton, Cosworth to Tamworth, which is Alcon brakes. The 6-piston caliper brakes are epic. They're just amazing. So Alcon brakes, and then I went back to Hinckley Triumph. So I did quite a bit of mileage that day. I wasn't tired at all, and it was a cold, wet day. So, you know, this bike has been absolutely brilliant, and it is an appreciating classic. I do use it. I don't keep it in a living room. It's not a decoration piece, and that's my kind of advice or tip to everyone. If you own one of these bikes, throw a comment, you know, let me know what you feel about this. If you appreciate these bikes, let me know as well. But yeah, I thought I'll showcase this bike. I will probably one of the things I would like to do is have a look at the suspension. It's a bit pogoing for me. The previous owner of this bike was a very tall chap. I believe he might be over 90 kilos. If you're watching, please don't mind. Might be just because of his height. I think the rear shock spring is a bit stiff, and the front is a bit pogoy. So the plan is one day to take it to maybe TBR Performance. I don't know when was the last time the suspension was serviced and stuff. Maybe give it a service, maybe give the master cylinder a service as well. Some things which don't get serviced that often. I was looking at the MOT of this, but MOT is like, what do you call it in America? Smog test in America. MOT it's got a record of all the mileage as well on this bike, a yearly check, a yearly safety check, and the bike has probably done 2,000 miles in the last 5 years. So, you know, I think it's time to refresh a few oils and hydraulics and stuff like that, whatever I can find. But yeah, plan to keep the bike, plan to ride it, and yeah, probably put decent mirrors on it. I'm okay with those mirrors, but I like a cafe racer style, so they will be bar end mirrors. Yeah, but yeah, love the bike. Look after yourself, guys. Thank you for watching this. Keep liking, keep subscribing. More videos like this coming up soon.